Hi everyone, this is Julie. Just popping in to welcome everybody to our restorative yoga class this Sunday evening. So we're just going to start off in a nice upright position. So just get yourself nice and comfortable. I mean, if you are at home and you're wanting to lean against the wall or lean against a bed, that's absolutely fine. In fact, you probably could do most of this stuff actually in your bed as well if you wanted to. In your pyjamas, which is even better. So let's just get ourselves in a nice comfortable position, and if it's uncomfortable to have your knees bent, just bring your legs out in front of you, and again just come into that sort of position. So we're just going to allow ourselves just a few moments just to get ourselves centered, all ready for this lovely practice. So we're just going to focus on our breath, just very gently, maybe breathing in and out through the nose. It's nice just to notice whether you're equally pressured in terms of your bum cheeks are nice and level, and if they aren't, just very gently just adjust yourself so that they actually are. And what we're trying to achieve is that the head is just resting on top of the head, or on top of the neck, nice and gently, and then the head is over the heart and the heart is over the pelvis. So we're just going to let ourselves become nice and tall and just focus on the breath. It's quite nice just to notice if you can feel any sort of sensations in your body at all. This is a really nice time just to tune in and check into ourselves. So just notice if there's any area that feels particularly pleasant. So now we tend to focus on the areas that are feeling a little bit tight or a little bit uncomfortable, but it's quite nice to work on the areas that do feel quite nice. So it could just be a little fingernail, or your earlobe or something, but just focusing on those lovely areas that feel nice. And then maybe focusing on the areas that aren't feeling quite so nice, so it could just be a little bit of tension somewhere, and just using that breath, just see if we can allow ourselves to just alleviate that tension. So breathing into those areas that feel a little bit tight. And to start to feel the energy moving through the body. So as you're breathing in through the nose, just imagine the energy just going down, all the way down to the floor, through the spine. As you're breathing out, just very gently taking all this stress and any tension out through the nose, just cleansing the body. And very slowly, we're just going to come back into the room. So the difference between a restorative yoga and most other yogas is it's a very passive form of yoga. It's sort of similar to yin yoga, which I also teach, but it tends to allow you to go into a much more deeper sense of relaxation. So it actually is harder to do than a lot of other yogas because we are so static all the time. So again, it's just a case of really focusing on your breath, and if you do find that your mind goes wandering off, just bringing it back, anchor it back down to that breath again. So I'm going to do some poses today that will really help with boosting your immune system, will really help with the respiratory system, just really generally calm the whole of your body systems down. So we're going to start off on our back, which is always the best way to start. So if you do have a blanket, you don't actually have to have a mat as well, so if you do have a blanket or something on the floor, that's fine. I'm just going to pop my other blanket just over the top, so I've got a little bit more extra padding and it's nice, much more comfortable. And obviously if you have got a few blankets, you can also cover yourself over at any particular point through this whole practice. So I'm going to get a couple of our pillows, and we're going to place one at one end of your mat and then the other at the other end of the mat. So this is a really lovely heart opening position pose or asana. So what we're trying to do is really open up the heart center, but we're also allowing the lungs to release as well. So basically our bottoms are going to get placed right between these two pillows. Obviously if you have got a yoga bolster as well, you can use a yoga bolster. So we're going to bring our legs just so they can rest over the pillow. Do you want to just fold your pillow up a little bit if you want a little bit more of a bend? And then we're going to just allow our the chest, the back of the chest to rest on this pillow, and our head just to drop back. If that is a little bit uncomfortable, you can just pop that blanket just underneath your head if you wish, but we're trying to just allow the chest to open here, and the arms can just rest by the side of your body. So I'm just going to set time so I know how long I've been going with each pose. So we're going to stay here for about 5 minutes. So the main thing with these things is you just really allow yourself to relax into them. So there should be no tension on the body, and you might find you actually getting tense as you're trying to relax into them, which is absolutely fine. It's perfectly normal. I think it's sometimes you have to just give yourself permission just to release into certain poses, or just allow yourself to release. So again, just getting yourself comfortable. It might take a couple of moments before you find yourself in that comfortable place, and just notice if you're holding any tension anywhere. And this is a really nice pose because you're working with the thymus. So the thymus area is just in the centre of the chest here, and the thymus is important because it really helps boost your immune system as well, which is just what we need at the moment. And because you're opening up the heart, again, you're opening up the heart chakra as well as the throat chakra, but also you're really helping open up the lungs as well to enable breathing to be better and easier. So then And then very slowly, you have to ease yourself out of these poses, principally because you just need to allow yourself just to come out of them gently, because you have been in that stationary position for a while. So we're just very gently going to bend our knees. I'm just going to roll our bottom pillow out of the way, and then slowly we're going to roll onto one side, just to allow ourselves to come up into a nice seated position, so we can just move everything out of the way. So we're going to move this pillow out of the way. Let's put it on my chair. Good. Not very good. That on the chair as well. Okay, so we're going to come into a nice side stretch now. So this is actually a yin pose. It's called a banana asana. So it's like a banana. But it's a really lovely way of stretching out the side body. So we're going to allow ourselves just to come to one side of our mat or towel or wherever you are. So you've got a little bit of space to your to one side of you. So I'm staying on the right side of my mat. So I'm going to bring both of my feet over to the left side. So I'm going to keep my bottom in the same place, and I'm just going to move my head and my shoulders over also to the left. So we need to make sure that the pelvis stays nice and flat, so you get a really strong stretch in the side body. And again, if you want to be a little bit more comfortable, just pop a little blanket underneath your head, because we are restorative rather than yin today. So from this pose, you can just leave your arms resting by your side. So what we're trying to do here is a lovely stretch just to open up the side body. It's actually a really nice stretch to do in the morning, this one actually. But it's also really nice to open up the ribs. So if your arms feel okay, we've not really worked on shoulders at all, but if your shoulders do feel okay, you can bring one of your arms above your head or both arms. But if you have got issues with your shoulders, you may just want to keep your arms by the side. So we're just going to stay this side for about 3 minutes. And again, nicely focusing on that breath. So as we're breathing in, what we're trying to do is just allow the whole of our body just to sink down into the floor, become much more grounded, really feel support of the earth beneath us. So again, with any poses, if there is any pain anywhere, we'll just ease off a little bit, move the legs a little bit, move the head or the shoulders back a little bit more, so it's a little bit more of a sort of more in line, so you don't have to be quite so strong in your side bend. At the end of the day, this is your practice. The main thing is you keep the breath nice and strong and deep, because it just allows you to release even deeper. then very slowly, we're going to just move our bodies back to centre. So move your legs first, and then move the top half of your body so it's nicely in line. So just take your time, and then very gently we're going to move our bodies over to either the other side of your mat, or if you've got space on the other side of you, just moving into, so you've got a little bit of gap onto the other side. So we're going to bring your feet over, or my feet over to the right hand side of my mat, and then my head and my shoulders keep my bottom in the same place. And again, you might find it feels tighter on one side than the other, which is absolutely fine, it's perfectly normal. And we're just going to make sure again that there's no pain anywhere, just feeling that lovely gentle stretch. And just allowing that breath just to become nice and easy. If you find your breath a little bit short, it probably just means you're just overstretching a little bit too much. So just, again, don't forget this is a passive practice. So again, we're not forcing our bodies into any particular position. We're just allowing the breath and gravity just to release. Excuse me. And then, as we did last time, very slowly moving first of all the legs over to the same side as your bottom, and then moving the head and shoulders back. So we're just going to draw the knees into the chest, just to very gently release the back, and just slowly rocking a little bit from side to side. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to roll onto one side and slowly come up to a seated position. Okay, so we're going to come into a gentle twist now. So the principles with yin or any sort of restorative yoga or any yoga is that basically we have a forward bend, a backward bend, a twist and an inversion. So we're going to do our twist now, and this is where we need two pillows, one on top of the other. So we're going to get our pillows and stack them up. So I've got one on top of the other, just like this. Okay. So this is a really gentle twist, but again, just be really mindful of how that feels. If you need a little bit of extra padding underneath your hips, if your hips are a bit bony, again, just get another blanket, pop it underneath your bottom. The main thing is comfort at all times. So I'm going to bring my left buttock onto the floor. So this left leg is now coming up towards the short side of my mat, and then with my right leg, I'm just going to sort of straddle the legs so they're a little bit like that. You can keep the legs together if you want to. It's your choice. If you are bring your legs together, you might want to pop a little bit of a padding or blanket just between your knees as well, just for a little bit more comfort. But again, that's your choice. I'm going to bring my legs just a little bit more wide because I want a slightly stronger stretch. So we're going to just move our whole of our body, so the whole of the top half of our chest. It's just going to come down. So basically the chest comes onto your pillows, and we're going to bring our arms and just rest them either side of our pillow. And it's also good to make sure that you have your palms facing upwards, because what that does, it just sorry, just reset my word all the time. It just allows you to come a little bit more passive into this pose, so you're just allowing yourself just to sink down. If you've got your hands with the palms facing down, you might be pushing a little bit into this pose. So we're just going to slowly allow ourselves just to rest down. So we've got a gentle twist on the lower back, and also we're breathing through the back of our bodies here. So it's really nice. Again, just a gentle stretch in the side. It's also a very gentle stretch over the shoulders. And it's quite normal that people find that their mind goes wandering, but the main thing is that you actually notice that your mind is wandering, and if that is the case, just bring it back and focus again on your breath, and also on any sensations you can feel in your body. very slowly. We're going to push ourselves back up. So just slowly easing out of this. Okay, so we need to change sides. So we're just going to move our bottoms the other side. Again, just make yourself comfortable. Again, if you do need to pop a blanket between your knees, that's fine. So again, just get yourself nice and comfortable and then just twisting the chest so the chest just rests down on your pillows and just relaxing your head down, so palms facing up again, just so that you can become a lot more relaxed and passive in this pose. And again, you might find it feels more comfortable on one side than the other because you have a natural way of laying, but that's fine. very slowly, again, just pushing ourselves up, very slowly coming out of this. I'm going to very gently just come onto all fours, just to release the spine. So bring the knees underneath your hips, just the hands underneath the shoulders, and just do some very gentle cat-cows, just to mobilise the spine a little bit, just to iron out any kinks. Take your time, just moving in a way that feels just right. If you want to just move back into a pose of a child for a couple of breaths, that's quite nice because it just releases the lower back. And then slowly come back. Okay, so we're going to use our chairs now, so I hope everyone has got a chair with them. So, this is a really lovely forward bend. So, I'm going to bring one of my pillows and place it onto my chair. I'm actually going to sit on the other one because it's really comfy. Okay, my daughter actually washed my pillow with something red, hence those. Anyway, so I'm going to bring our bottoms onto just in front of where the chair is. Now you have a couple of options. I quite like doing one leg at a time, but you can do both legs together. If you want to bring your legs into a cross-legged position, if your knees are way up here though, you might find it's easier just to have one leg out at a time. You can just stay in that cross-legged position and then come into a forward fold. Or I quite like just bringing one leg out, keeping the other leg in, and then coming into a forward fold from here. So just adjusting your chair. So again, so you've got a little bit of support for your head. If you do want to pop something underneath that knee, actually, it's a little bit tight today. If you need to pop anything underneath your straight leg, you can, just to take the pressure off the back of that leg as well. And if you want to just bend it in a little bit, you can. So the main thing is we're trying to get a stretch here on the inside of the groin, and the inside of the thigh. So we're going to stay here for about 3 minutes or so, I think. So a nice forward fold. So you've got a really lovely stretch on the lower back, inside of your thighs. But the good thing is you actually got that lovely support as well, so you're not really putting any pressure on your body. And if you do have issues with your knees, you might just want to straighten both legs out actually. hands up from this side. So if you have your legs crossed, you can just change the cross of your legs, so whatever leg you've got behind is actually in front now. If you've got your legs one out the side, just bring your second leg out. And again, make sure you've got a little bit of padding underneath that straight leg, just to take the pressure off the back of the leg. And again, coming into that lovely forward fold again this side. Again, just you might notice it might feel a little bit more uncomfortable on one side than it is on the other, again, which is perfectly normal. But the main thing is we're trying to make sure that we pad up anything that's not really touching the floor. So if you do need a little bit of extra padding in any places, that's fine. This is not like normal yoga where you have to sort of like force yourself into it. We're just making sure that we've got all those spaces between you and the floor that's supported really. So if you do need extra padding anywhere, just get your blankets and pop them around you. Very gently easing out of this one again, because we've been forward folding for a little while. Just maybe just bring the hands behind you, just bend the knees, and just slowly just windscreen wiping those legs side to side, just to release any tension in that lower back. So just taking your time, there's no rushing to the next pose. Okay, so we're going to do the penultimate one now before we come into Shavasana. So this is a really nice inversion. So again, I would keep your pillow on your chair. I'm not going to keep my pillow underneath my bottom actually, but I'm going to come up into this position first of all before I decide where I'm going to go. Move everything out of the way. So I'm going to come onto my back. Again, just move my blankets out of the way. Nice and comfy. And then gently coming onto your back. We're just going to hook our calves onto our chair. So you can either stay with your back resting on the floor, which is quite nice. And if you're on your period, I probably would stay with your back on the floor. If you have a bolster, which I know some of you have, or a pillow, again, you can just raise your bottom up and just slide your pillow underneath your bottom on the lower back. And again, it's your choice. It sometimes feels nice just to invert the body just a little bit more. But equally, it's quite nice just to stay flat on the floor if you want to feel a little bit more grounded. So at the end of the day, it's sort of a choice for you, and the benefit of this pose is brilliant. I mean, we have done this with legs up the wall in the class, but what we're trying to do is support the calves. So it just takes all that pressure off the hamstrings, really releases the lower back, and again, you're opening up the chest. And because you're sort of inverting, it's so calming on the nervous system. So we're just going to allow our arms to rest by our sides, and again, palms up if you can. Or you can bring the hands on your body if that feels better for you. And if you want to bring something underneath your head, you can. Or you can cover yourself up in a blanket, which is quite nice. This is quite a nice pose just to really connect with our body as well. So just really notice your heart beating in your chest and the breath. Very slowly, just easing those knees into the chest. So you might want to bring your knees nice and wide and just very gently rocking from side to side just to release any tension in the lower back. Again, just taking your time. Okay, so we're going to come into Shavasana now. So you may want to roll onto your side first and slowly come up and just get yourself nice and comfortable. I'm going to swap blankets, put my grey one underneath. Oh, I've got one under there as well. More blankets than I can shake stick out. So I'm going to bring my pillow underneath my head. I'm also going to bring my other pillow and pop that underneath my knees. Get myself nicely covered up with my blanket. So again, just get yourself nice and settled. Curl my toes up. And just allow yourself just to release. So Shavasana is probably one of the most underrated poses in yoga. But it's just so important just to allow everything to just integrate what we've done, just allow ourselves just to become still. And just relax. So just notice if there's any tension anywhere in your body. And use that breath just to see if you can release. And just any tension in your feet, just allow those feet just to drop out to the side. Relax. And the ankles to soften. The calf muscles to release. Just notice the muscles in the thighs, just allow them to relax and lengthen. And the buttocks, just allow them to become soft and heavy. Allow the back to release into the floor and become heavy. And the shoulder blades and the neck. Notice the rise and fall of the belly. Just allow that breath to become deeper and slower. Relax the mouth, the cheekbones, the eye sockets. And just feel yourself becoming heavy on the floor. Slowly we're going to allow ourselves just to ease out of this pose. Just very slowly, just wiggling the fingers and toes. Of course, if you are in your bed or in your bedroom, you may just want to stay there a bit longer. Or just hop into bed, nice and cozy. And then maybe offering yourself a nice full body stretch, bring the arms above the head. Really stretch out. Yawning out any last bits of stress in the body. Slowly drawing the knees into the chest. Again, taking your time, there's no rush. And maybe rocking a little bit from side to side, just to slowly wake up the back and releasing that tension that may be there. And then we're just going to roll onto one side. And again, stay there as long as you need to. And very slowly in your own time, just coming up into a nice seated position. So just, again, get yourself nice and comfortable. If you want to stay on the floor again, that's absolutely fine. There's no rush to come up. So anyway, I'm going to go off to my bed in a bit. I will see you all soon. Take care and sleep well. Take care. Namaste. Bye-bye.